It's 11 a.m. here in Seoul. I'm Oseong at the Arirang News Center. We're breaking into our regular programming to bring you a live briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the coronavirus outbreak here in the nation. In just a few moments, we'll cut into the briefing at the Sejong Government Complex with simultaneous interpretation available for you in English. We're going to go into the briefing room very shortly, where Kim Gang-lip, the Vice Health Minister and the overall coordinator of the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasure Headquarters, will be sharing the latest figures and updates on the COVID-19 situation here in Korea, especially with the Itaewon cluster infections in the central region of Seoul having seen a large number of cases continue to swell. Now it looks like the briefing's about to begin.
First, here is Mr. Kim Gang-lip with the briefing on the COVID-19 response. Let us now begin our regular briefing for May 28th, Thursday. As of today, midnight, we have 79 new cases, and of them, 68 were local transmissions, while the rest 11 were imported cases. And as for the local transmissions relating to the Bucheon Logistics Center, yesterday we had 54, and currently it stands at 69. And we believe that as the testing is underway, we will have more continued increase in these numbers. And the total confirmed number of the confirmed cases now stands at 11,344 as of now, with 10,340 having made full recovery. And a total of 735 people are in quarantine undergoing treatment. The death toll stays unchanged. And this morning, the KSDC held a meeting presided over by the Health Minister Bang Neung-woo, and we discussed many issues, including the confirmed cases in the metropolitan area, as well as quarantine for logistics centers nationwide. Health Minister Bang Neung-woo said that we are seeing a wide increase in the number of confirmed cases in the metropolitan area, and he urged the people who are living in the metropolitan area to refrain from non-essential gatherings and meetings. First of all, regarding the Bucheon Logistics Center, here are some updates. As for this Logistics Center, we have 69 cases in relation to this case so far, and the direct infections amount to 55, and the 14 additional of the contacts. And after we have confirmed the first case of the COVID-19 here at the Logistics Center, we carried out swift and massive quarantine measures, and we are currently exerting all our efforts. And we are currently expanding the scope of contacts, not only to include the direct contacts, but also the visitors and also the visitors and the workers at the logistics center, amounting to 4,159 people. And at the same time, we are testing every one of these people. And unlike the Itaewon Club case, most of them have registered their information, including their contacts. And as of yesterday, about 83% or a little over 3,400 people have been conducted testings, and we believe that the diagnostic testing will be completed by today. And until the carrying out of the testings, and we believe that the number will increase going forward, and we will be able to have a control over the quarantine aspect for the logistics center. However, as we have a surge in the number of confirmed cases, we have great concerns on the local transmissions, and the local quarantine authorities and the local governments are also tracing these contacts. And because we have a very fast speed of infection, we also have a high risk of infection among the local communities, which could also be spreading right now. And as we saw in the Itaewon Club case, after the confirmation of the one of the visitors to the club who was the teacher at a private academy at Incheon, we have confirmed that just in 19 days, this person has led to 7th-hand infection. And this shows that the infection speed could be very high and very fast. And therefore, we ask the public to participate wholeheartedly in the quarantine authorities' efforts. And we also have a list of public venues visited by the COVID-19 cases. And if you have visited these places, please get screened at the screening clinics regardless of your symptoms. And if you provide false testimony in the process of epidemiological investigation, this is also can be an act to delay our quarantine efforts. So please keep this in mind. And we ask all of the residents living in the metropolitan area to stay on alert. We are carrying out contact tracing. However, the metropolitan area is currently at a high risk of infection. So please minimize external and outdoors activities. And it is a very crucial moment to protect yourselves. And please delay or postpone or cancel non-essential meetings or gatherings. And please refrain from going to multi-use facilities. These are some of the efforts that you need to put in place. Before you realize it, you could be exposed to the virus. So please remember this, and please remember to keep quarantine protocols, including wearing of face masks and washing of your hands. This morning at the KCC meeting, we also dealt with the quarantine measures for logistics centers and inspections for similar facilities. At the Bucheon Logistics Center of the Kupang, we are seeing a fast surge in the number of confirmed cases. To this end, we are intensifying our quarantine measures for these logistics centers. And we identified that there are many of the temporary workers who are working on part-time at these logistics centers, and we mandate all of them to have an entry log. And we also advise people with suspected symptoms to refrain from coming to work and staying at home. And we will closely cooperate with related ministries and provide a guideline specified for the logistics center, and this will be given out to these centers as soon as possible. And as for the logistics centers for many delivery services, we will continue to carry out similar inspections. And based on a checklist, a responsible employee will be carrying out their own on-site inspection, and we will be also simultaneously carrying out an on-site inspection carried out by our quarantine authorities. And under the supervision of the Transport Ministry, we will also begin starting from tomorrow. For the next 2 weeks, we will carry out similar inspections. After these on-site inspections, we will be reflecting these outcomes, and we will be also revising these guidelines for the logistics centers. The government will be dedicated to cooperating with the related agencies to minimize risks of infection at these logistics centers. Last week, we had the resumption of schools for seniors in high school, and starting from yesterday, we had the resumption of many schools across the country. And many students were very happy to meet their friends and teachers again. And unfortunately, along with such measures, we are seeing an increase in the number of cases, and I believe that there are great concerns among our parents as well as the members of the public. The quarantine authorities will be cooperating closely with the local governments and the schools to minimize our risks of infection for the schools. But in order to maintain our offline classes, the local communities need to secure their own safety first. So we ask the members of the public to remember that and to be dedicated so that our children can continue their offline classes. Thank you very much. very much.
That was a live briefing from the South Korean health authorities. You just heard that updating us on the COVID-19 situation here in the nation. We just heard that there were 79 extra infection cases in Korea, bringing the total accumulated number to 11,344. There are no new deaths, however, meaning that the death toll stands firm at 269. Well, that wraps up our coverage of this morning's briefing. Thank you for staying with us, and we'll be back shortly with our regularly scheduled newscast at 12 p.m. Korea time. Bye for now.